Do it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inside the Big Dynasty League. With me, as always, the commish, Clyde Randall Waters, and with us again this week, the stat man, Petey Cunningham. Oh my goodness, gentlemen. Playoffs.
Right.
We have some crazy, exciting matches this week. Lots of crazy stuff happen. Let's start off, I guess. Should we start off with the big bracket or the toilet bowl?
Start off with the big bracket. That's the most important one.
All right.
People care about.
All right, let's go with it.
That matters.
Let's start off with Hernandez's pistol offense versus Calvin. Who? Statman. Start saying stuff because I'm coughing.
Calvin who versus Hernandez pistol offense. Great matchup this week. And I wish we could say we got the best of both teams, but I think there's one of these teams we didn't get the best of. And that's Calvin who had a quarterback and a tight end both go down early in their game. And you would think that would mean they got the loss. Wrong. Hernandez pistol offense, 136 points, but Calvin who didn't even get a point from Andy Dalton.
Not even a full point.
Literally not even a point.
Not even half a point, really.
They still put up 153 points. Had Todd Gurley and James Starks go off at the running back position. Thought Starks might have a lower output this week with Eddie Lacy all of a sudden having a good game that... I'm not even going to go there. And then A.J. Green having a good week. 28 points from the Panthers defense. And Calvin who wins this matchup against Hernandez's pistol offense. But an incredible matchup, especially with the low out point from Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I think this might be a costly win, though. I mean, what is he going to play this week?
You look at his quarterbacks right now, and he's got Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco,
out.
Brian Hoyer,
Useless.
Peyton Manning,
out.
Literally has 4 quarterbacks on his roster.
All useless.
None of them are starting Sunday. How is that even... That doesn't even seem possible.
So, needless to say, he's going to be on that waiver wire.
Yeah. If you are the pimps right now, do you just bid on every single quarterback?
It would be a dirty move, but a legit move. If you're someone who just wants to mess with people and haven't done much waiver wire stuff at all, it might just, you're not really invested in your quarterback.
Yeah, and have a grudge, maybe?
Maybe you just gobble them all up.
Let's look at quarterback options.
For Calvin who?
For Calvin who?
Who?
Let's look at quarterback options. Let's check this out real quick. We got Kirk Cousins.
Woo.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I personally know who he should pick up.
Johnny
Football is available.
He is. I've dropped him. He's all yours.
Johnny Football has the very tough matchup at Seattle, though, so I'd probably not go with him. Kirk Cousins is playing the Bills.
Well, that could be some points.
Teddy Bridgewater is playing at the Bears.
Oh.
Or there is A.J. McCarron.
A.J. McCarron.
Oh, and you know
that's who he's going to go for. You know it.
You know it.
A.J. McCarron. Bengals are playing at the 49ers. Not the 69ers, not to confuse anybody. They're playing at the 49ers, who have the 31st worst rush defense and the 27th worst pass defense.
You know, A.J. McCarron in an interview this weekend said, hey, Tom Brady started out as a backup quarterback, got his shot towards the end of the season when the starter went out, and now he's Tom Mother Effin Brady. I'm paraphrasing at the end. I don't think he said Mother Effin. But, so A.J. McCarron could be a good pickup.
They both have crazy hot wives. So
there you go, hey.
There's a few things in common here.
I want a crazy hot wife.
That'd be nice.
If you're crazy hot and want to be my wife, write us. Tweet us at Big Dynasty League. Thank you. That is all.
So, looking at the Hernandez Pistol offense side of this matchup, how about Hernandez Pistol offense finishing their season with a 4-game losing streak?
And I think it's 5 including playoffs, right?
Oh, yeah. 5. Oh, sorry, 5 including the playoffs.
Ouch.
That's
no way to go into the offseason, but...
Not at all. And when you take a look at his team and just see where the points are coming from, he lucked out. Doug Baldwin
Has been amazing
3
lately.
touchdowns. Cam Newton passing for 3 touchdowns. Randall Cobb with a decent showing of 17 points. However, it just was not a whole team effort by Hernandez Pistol offense. Lacking in the tight end area with Colby Fleener, 1.6 points.
Heck, Tyler Eifert got 6, and he was out by the first quarter.
Exactly. Just disappointing results from Hernandez Pistol offense in the last few weeks.
I really expected more from them. They really let me down.
Rough end of the season for Hernandez Pistol offense, but, they got Doug Baldwin for $4. They got the right of first refusal for Travis Benjamin. Got LaShawn McCoy. Got Cam Newton. So, there's hope for the future here. I think this team is going to be in the playoffs for a few years, but definitely a disappointing way to end the year.
Yep.
At least they made the playoffs, though.
Anyway, so Hernandez Pistol offense, good try. Calvin, you move on to round 2 where you're going to play the Scarlet Pimps.
Pimps!
And I believe the Pimps are an early 52-point favorite.
Pimps!
Wow.
Pimps!
All right, let's move on.
Let's move on. Here we're going to take a look at Los Pandas Desnudo versus Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Statman, what's going on in this one?
Tell you what, this was a really good matchup. I really liked Playoffs in this one. Their team just been on fire lately. And Los Pandas Desnudos puts up a respectable 148-point effort. That'll win you most weeks, but not when Playoffs puts up $179. We talked about Doug Baldwin in our previous matchup. Russell Wilson throwing to him, puts up 42 points. Man. Russell Wilson been unbelievable. Over 30 points for the last 4 games. Over 39 for the last 3. That streak keeps up. This team's really going to be really hard to beat in the playoffs. No pun intended. But David Johnson.
Make a pun. You said it playoffs instead of playoffs.
I was going for the.
All right.
I was playing it.
All right, I knew it.
But David Johnson stepping into that starting feature running back role there in Arizona puts up 17 points. The wide receivers, we talked about it before the year with playoffs and their wide receivers. He's got 4 put up over 12 points. Each of them did. Brandon Marshall. I went back and looked at this. We looked at before the year. We did our best values and our worst values, and we had Brandon Marshall down for our worst value.
Oh yeah, we ripped on him.
Yes, for $23, and it's ended up being one of the best draft picks of the year. Literally has not had a game below double digits. The last 3 weeks has been above 24 points. So we were completely wrong on that. We were right on our best value picks. We did really well there, but our worst value, we blew it.
I'll also say that playoffs is benefiting from the great play of Russell Wilson over the last few weeks. He picked Russell Wilson up in a trade with none other than Los Pandas Desnudos earlier in the season.
Yeah. They wrote their own demise.
Exactly. I'm telling you, the NFL cannot script a better season than the Big Dynasty League.
Really can't.
That is true.
Anyways, I traded Russell away when he was putting up about an average of 12, 14 points a week. it was whatever. Almost every other quarterback could have started that time was getting the same average. But who would have thought that for the last 4 weeks, Russell Wilson would be averaging like 35 points a game? Week 11, 30.7 points. Week 12, 44.3 points. Week 13, 39.2 points. This week, week 14, 42.28 points. Where is that coming from? I don't know.
The pass ranks for those teams were 27, 36, and 21. So 3 of the defenses was a little suspect on the pass, but the Vikings got one of the best defenses in the league, and they tore them up.
Yeah.
Tore them up. So, over that 4-game span, he's got 16 touchdown passes, no interceptions. That's pretty good. And this week, they play the Browns.
Yes.
Very good chance that he goes over 30 this week.
Oh, yeah.
But, to be fair, they could be up by 30 points at halftime and just run the ball the entire second half and still win by 40.
Run the ball with who? Lynch is hurt.
Rawls is hurt.
They traded Turbin away. Who's going to run the ball?
No, I don't know. Russell Wilson going to tear it up for playoffs. Going to continue that role. He's got Allen Hurns a wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey, Jeremy Maclin. Think about it. You got Russell Wilson in that trade. Got Jeremy Maclin in a preseason trade from your very own Wayne Enterprises, and got Gary Barnidge in a trade. So all these trades are paying off big time for playoffs here. So, yeah. Got a tough matchup next week, though.
That's for sure.
Against the 69ers. Really tough matchup there. But we'll get to that one in a little bit.
But, I do want to say that my team looked pretty good here at the end of the year, considering the injuries I've had to work with.
Yeah.
I lost Keenan Allen, top receiver. Lost Julian Edelman, my other top receiver. I lost that one guy, Jeremy Graham.
Jimmy Graham. Jimmy.
I don't like him, so I renamed him as Jeremy, because Jeremys don't ever do anything well. Can you tell me one Jeremy that's been successful? Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, point taken.
Anyways, but yeah, those big injuries in my team, I still have been putting up some good points, finishing strong. Big improvement over last season. I couldn't ask for more. But sadly, my Los Panthers desnudos are still going to be desnudos. No clothes for them. They can't win in the playoffs.
Yeah, no clothes. You don't get clothes if you don't want to playoffs. You got to sit there and be naked. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the toilet bowl. The toilet bowl.
It was kind of just...
We got the Ricky Bobby team versus Wolfgang United. Statman, is there anything worth talking about in this one?
There's really nothing worth talking about. This one went exactly as you would have thought it went. Wolfgang United, 131 points. Ricky Bobby team, 99. Started Justin Forsett, who hasn't played in a month.
Started Marcus Wilson.
Marcus Wilson put up a 0. Don't even know if he played.
I don't even think he played.
I don't even think he played.
He still put up 98 points, which is better than some other teams in this league.
Marcus,
imagine if the Ricky Bobby team had just put a little bit more effort into this team this season. Anyways, big win for Wolfgang United.
Yeah, Wolfgang United moves on to play Wayne Enterprises in a Toilet Bowl semifinal.
Yes.
So that should be a dandy.
A doozy.
All right. Anything else on that one?
Nope.
I don't think
Next
so.
up, let's take a look at the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons versus Victoria's Secret. Talk about a team not doing well. And they set a lineup every week, ladies and gentlemen. Statman, go ahead and talk about it.
Wow.
Oh.
We had a discount double up
In the toilet bowl.
in the Toilet Bowl. And Victoria's Secret only put up 123 points.
That's factually correct.
It was a rough week for the Bourbon Barons. Literally, one player in double digits. Only 2 players scored over 7.3 points.
That's also factually correct.
Phillip Rivers has been terrible since they're just pulling people out of the stands and just throwing wide receiver anymore. So So you kind of can't really blame Phillip Rivers, but still, 6 points for Phillip Rivers. Man, wide receivers had a combined. This is going to take just 1 second to add this up. 15 points combined from 4 starting wide receivers. It's been that kind of year for the Bourbon Barons. Just can't really catch a break. I don't even really know what to say.
I would like to point out that not only did I not score over 60 points, my potential points are not even 80 points, but my combined starter, non-starter total is still under 100 points.
That
Thank you.
seems really hard to do.
This is why it's called the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
I am impressed with how bad my team is doing. I don't feel there's any worse they could do.
Nope. You can only go up next year, though, at least.
I guess.
Gotta look at the bright
It's
side.
definitely a little frustrating when I actually, besides what it shows, I actually do put effort into it.
Yeah.
Unlike the Ricky Bobby team.
Anyways, let's move on and talk about the matchups for this coming week. For round 2 of the playoffs.
Things are starting to get good.
Playoffs!
Anyways.
Our first matchup, we got Calvin Who versus the Scarlet Pimps.
Pimps!
Calvin Who, as we talked about, needs a quarterback.
Needs a quarterback.
So, they got to go Kirk Cousins. Probably going to go A.J. McCarron, though.
They're going to go A.J. McCarron
if they win.
unless they get screwed, in which case they will start Brian Hoyer.
Yeah. Calvin Who, all-time 0-3 against the Pimps. So,
Pimps!
I got to say, I don't think they're going to get their first win this week. The Pimps had kind of a down week last week if you looked at their points, but I think that works out well. They had the down week, got it out of the way when it didn't matter. Ready to perform this week. I'm going with the Scarlet Pimps to keep that ball rolling.
Yeah, I don't know how you can overcome the kind of injuries that Calvin Who had this past week. I'm going to take the Scarlet Pimps.
It's going to be a tough one. I want to take Calvin Who, but I just don't know where they're going to come up with a quarterback. Do we know if Eiferd's going to be starting this week?
Eifert sat out practice today. Still in the concussion protocol.
Jeez. Stupid concussion protocol. Just let them play. Who cares if they get homicidal and crazy later in life? That's later's problem.
That's later, yeah.
We need to play off. We need to
It's all about now. It's all
Oh, I didn't see you there. My awesomeness just shines too bright in this league. I wanted to welcome you to the worldwide Dynasty League Federation headquarters. That may confuse some of you a bit, thinking the commissioner's place is where it's at, but the real headquarters is at the champ's house. And if you got a problem with that, you give me a call, and we'll settle it mano y mano. Or mano y wo mano. I don't discriminate. I beat 2 women last year to get this far, and I'm going to add a 3rd this week when I take on this team. I can't even remember their name. Is it knockoffs? Jerkoffs? Who knows and who cares? They're going to be history come Monday night when the San Francisco 69ers, the worldwide champ, begins his run for a repeat performance. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what just happened.
What you were giving your pick,
I was
picking the Pimps, right?
I was picking the Pimps.
And then all of a sudden, bam!
We had this transmission interruption. It appears that the owner of San Francisco 69ers may have both been possessed by Macho Man Mandy Savage's ghost and figured out a way to interrupt our transmission.
I don't know. I thought you had a pretty secure internet here.
I thought so too. And I love that he interrupted our transmission to lay down some smack talk.
Man.
I like it.
Oh, man!
That was nuts.
Oh!
Okay,
That's
so,
the kind of dedication we need in this league. You need to hack into people's internet to talk trash.
Exactly. I mean, that was intense. Like,
That
for
was
a second
camping.
there, I thought I was really seeing Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh yeah!
I was waiting for the Slim Jim to come out. I was
Snap it to a Slim Jim.
waiting for it.
And I like how he smacked down. He talked some smack to some other league members
Oh,
there too.
man.
Lay
Like,
it down. I
smacking
mean,
the ladies around.
smacking the ladies around and playoff. Smacking around playoffs.
Man.
Oh,
All right. Well, just to make sure it's on the record, I'm taking the pimps.
All right.
we got it. We got it.
All right. I guess let's move on to the next matchup.
Let's move on to the matchup that
that they were just talking about here. The San Francisco 69ers, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a sex joke, versus Playoffs. Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Woo! So I'm still confused as why Playoffs has question marks within his team name.
Is he not sure he's in the playoffs?
Right. Is there still a question about being in the playoffs?
Does he feel he shouldn't be in the playoffs?
Does he have a hint of doubt and be able to win this matchup this week?
You definitely get that feeling sometimes.
I think there's some superstition there. He doesn't want to change it. Things are going well. He's been changing his name every other week this year. Finally, he's hitting his stride. I think he doesn't want to change the name. He wants to keep that good mojo rolling. That's got to be it.
He's a tinkerer, though, so we'll see.
We'll find out.
Anyways, this matchup, I think this matchup is all the makings of being an epic battle.
This got to be one of the most highly anticipated matchups in BDL history right here. Happening in the semifinals.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Statman. I hate to interrupt the show again, but I just got an emergency message from the owner of Playoffs,
Oh,
wow.
one Joe Hoff.
You must be watching live.
I know, yeah. And this is a response letter he's asked me to read. Please read the below email in its entirety. So please note these are not my words. These will be the words of Joe Hoff, owner of the Playoffs.
these also do not reflect the views of
Inside the Big Dynasty League or the league as a whole or us or anyone with this team.
Right.
I'm going to try to read it in the voice I assume it was written in.
Can you speak that high?
It may take a bit of pinching, but I can do it.
Okay.
Ben, I had assumed you would stoop to something so classless and extravagant. As you can tell by this note, which was dictated to Alfred to handwrite and then emailed to Mike, I prefer to do things that are classy and occasionally old-fashioned. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's why I enjoyed Ben's mama so much last night.
Whoa.
Before I engage in some trash talk, I would like to take this time to address a few things. First, I would like to apologize to everyone, as there will be no trophy this year, since I knocked out our beloved commissioner from the playoffs. Guess there's always next year. Scarlet Pimps! Congrats on your first round bye, and a primitive congrats on beating Calvin, who shouldn't be too hard since Morgan is hoarding all the wounded quarterbacks and tight ends in the league.
Boom!
See you
Roasted.
in the finals, Sarah. P.S. My pimp hand is strong. P.T. I hope your love life is going better than your fantasy team. Hopefully it will keep you distracted until next season.
No problem with that.
Okay, back to the matchup of the week. He assumed he's the matchup of the week.
Wow.
I think we just said this is an epic battle, like
I think we
good
get
matchup. So
There's no other way to put this, Ben, other than I'm going to stomp you. So badly, in fact, you'll have to change your team name. But since I'm such an awesome friend, I figured I would provide you a couple of names you can use. I got Bent over and Rapistburgered. Joel's team went Hoff all over me.
Whoa.
And yes, ladies and
Whoa.
gentlemen, those are both sex jokes. Seriously though, Ben, you still have time to return that penis pump from your winnings you aren't going to get this year. Give your wife my condolences and tell her that if she needs a winner, she knows where to find me. Ooh. Mike, thank you for reading this, and here is $2, which is about as much as your team is worth.
If he just sent that over, how did you get $2?
The $2 came through the email.
That's a pretty high evaluation of your team right there.
Yeah.
$2.
Wow.
So we got some serious trash talk going on here. I hope I represented the spirit of which that was emailed.
I think you did. I think
with
that was
the correct voice. Again, does not reflect the views of inside the Big Dynasty League.
No.
Or the Big Dynasty League as a whole, as those are separate entities.
He offended all three of us sitting here.
Yes, and it does not reflect my
email.
views. I had a hard time reading it. I didn't enjoy it. I am going to take the $2, and I'm probably going to get a cheeseburger.
Yeah. You can get 2 cheeseburgers at McDonald's, actually.
Boom. Anyway, back to the matchup.
Back to the matchup.
Enough interruptions.
We got 69ers and the playoffs going off here. Playoffs got Russell Wilson going up against the Browns defense. Expect him to put up a lot of points. Got the Seahawks defense going up against Johnny Football and the Cleveland offense. Wide receivers been killing it. David Johnson's been killing it. San Francisco 69ers has got Carson Palmer, quarterback, who's been MVP level performer this year. Matt Forte finally back. Charkandrick West kind of splitting carries there in Kansas City now with Spencer Ware. Amari Cooper coming off of zero catches last week. And the Raiders still won at Denver.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Larry Fitzgerald catching passes from Carson Palmer. Tell you what, this is going to be a high-scoring matchup. I think both teams are going to be above 160. I'm going with the 69ers 169 to 164. Yes.
That's a close matchup. Commish, what are your thoughts?
Well, looking at this here, I found some holes in the Niners lineup they have. Now, there's still some time for them to make some changes and whatnot. But I believe that the playoffs are firing on all cylinders and are ready to roll into the championship matchups. I'm taking the playoffs.
My only concern with the playoffs is they got a lot riding on that Seahawk-Cleveland game with both Russell Wilson and the defense. But I don't really know what I'm talking about according to the worth of my team. But I'm gonna go with the playoffs.
All right.
I'm gonna do
Two
it.
against one.
All right, a quick rundown of the matchups in the Toilet Bowl this week. Wolfgang United at Wayne Enterprises.
I'm taking Wayne Enterprises.
I'm taking Wolfgang United.
It's actually looking to be a close matchup here. I'm gonna take Wayne Enterprises.
Wolfgang United 1-4 all time against Wayne Enterprises. And by the way, in our previous matchup, playoffs holds a 2-1 series record against the 69ers. So they might have their number.
All right, in the last matchup for this week, again, the second matchup here in the Toilet Bowl, we have Victoria's Secret at FC Acid Kickers. FC Acid Kickers, I'm telling you, we've all been quiet on them all season. Granted, they aren't in the playoffs, but they are my pick to come away with winners of the Toilet Bowl.
Yep.
So I'm taking the Acid Kickers.
I'm taking the Acid Kickers.
I'm taking the Acid Kickers and Blake Bortles.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that does it for the week.
I think it does.
Again, sorry for all these weird interruptions. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, the interrupted video, again, does not reflect the views or standards of inside the Big Dynasty League or the Big Dynasty League as a whole. And just one more time, the letter I read was the words of Joel Hoff, not mine, and do not reflect my personal views or the views or thoughts of inside the Big Dynasty League or the Big Dynasty League as a whole, nor does it reflect the views and or standards of the Commish, Clyde Randall Waters, or the Statman, Petey Cunningham. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and goodbye.
Good luck to those playing this week.
Good luck. Have fun. Peace be with you. Oh, Star Wars this week.
Star Wars this week, baby.
Star Wars.
Star Wars
Friday.
The Force Awakens,
Friday.
baby. I am going. I got my tickets. 10:40 showing. Thursday night. Cannot wait.
It'll be great.
Oh, I'm about to start